Hi everyone, today I will be analyzing question 1 on how non-monetary goods like relational and mental health well-being influences the consumer choice, specifically from a utility theory perspective. Traditionally, utility is measured in economic terms like the price or income, but modern consumer divide subjective utility from intangible benefit. Think about mental clarity, reduced anxiety, or the better sleep. These outcomes are valuable even if they don't invoice the cash. For example, meditation app like the health spa or insight timer provide the user with the emotional balance and focus. For urban worker, this is not a luxury. This is the foundational utility. In fast-paced environments, this truck directly support the productivity, focus, and emotional stability. Even when these tools are free, the perceived value is comparable to that of the paid therapy session or wellness retreat. Next is the important to understand that consumers are not just spending the money. They are spending the time, which is another scarce resources. So the decision become is the 30 minutes on this app are more beneficial than scoring the social media or watching the TV? This, that's why successful wellness tours often offer short, high-impact sessions like 5 to 10 minutes of guided breathing or reflection that deliver quick stress relief. They maximize the utility per minute, which make them more appealing. Now we look at the psychology behind the free trust. One concept is the zero price effect. When something is free, people perceive it as having the highest value because there is no risk invoice. They are more likely to try it even if they are unsure about its effectiveness. Also, people prefer immediate gratification. In behavioral economy, this is known as present bias. User value a few minutes of peace right now more than the promise of future wellness. The emotional payoff made them more loyal to trust they offer the instant relief. So, what does this mean for the business? When the app meet non-monetary needs, it build emotional trust with user. This kind of engagement go beyond the transaction; it's become a relationship. Moreover, offering free trust enhance the brand's social responsibility image, specifically in the world where mental health is growing concerns. This this strengthens this strengthens brand loyalty and attract more users. So free doesn't mean loss. It's actually a strategy investment in the long-term value and the customer retention. In summary, non-monetary goods like relational and mental well-being play a pivotal role in the shaping consumer choice, particularly in high-stress urban environments. From a utility theory perspective, this intangible benefit holds significant value, not in the monetary terms, but in the emotional balance, time efficiently, and psychologically satisfaction. Free wellness tours are not popular simply because they are free. They are chosen because their effectivities address core human needs in an instant. For businesses, this offers a unique opportunity to build stronger relationships, enhance brand trust, and secure the long-term loyalty. In today's economy, utility is no longer just about price. It's about the purpose and meeting the deeper, inst- instinctive the needs. Ultimately, this shows that utility is not just about money. It's about what truly matters to the people. Thank you for the listening. Now I will pass to question 2.
Hi guys, so my name is Junyan. So let me continue with the question 2. Before starting answer the question, we need to read through the question first. Column 1 through 3 in the table below show the marginal utility which a particular consumer would get by purchasing various quantities of products, which is ice creams, isotonic drinks, and cakes. And inside the table, we have different unit of products that purchases from first to seventh, and when we purchase different quantity of products, we have different marginal utility for each product. If the prices of ice cream isotonic drink and cakes are 2 ringgits, 3 ringgits, and 1 ringgit respectively, and the consumer has 26 ringgit to spend on these 3 products. What combination of the 3 products should be purchased in order to maximize utility? So before answering the questions, we need to find out the key point of the question. So first of all, we have 26 ringgit of budgets, and we need to find out what combination of the 3 products should be purchased in order to maximize utility. Alright, first of all, we need to calculate the marginal utility per price. So how we calculate the marginal utility per price, which is MU per price? That's so simple. We just use the marginal utility that the question gives and the price of the units that the question also given just now. We just use the marginal utility divide with the price. So we can get the MU per price. So the table below is the marginal utility per price of every single product. So after calculating the marginal utility per unit, we need to allocate the budget based on the highest marginal utility per ringgit Malaysia. So we have 6 number of choice to maximize the utility, and we have 6 combination. So let's look at the first combination. First ice cream have 9 MU per price. First isotonic drinks have 13 MU per price. First cake have 12 MU per price. So our purchase decision will choose the highest MU per price, which is 13. So we will choose isotonic drinks. But one isotonic drink is cost us 3 ringgit Malaysia. So the income remaining is just 23 because 26 minus 3 equal to 23. So we move on to the second combination. First ice cream, second isotonic drinks, and first cake, which have 9 ML per price, 12 ML per price, and 12 ML per price respectively. So inside this case, we need to choose the highest ML per price, right? So we just choose isotonic drinks and cake because there is highest MU per price, and we can choose two. And cake and first cake cost us 1 ringgit. Isotonic drinks cost us 3 ringgit, so total cost us 4 ringgit. So the income remaining just 19 because 23 minus 4 equal to 19. So the 3, 4, 5, 6 combination just based on the concept that I say just now, which is choose the highest marginal utility per ringgit Malaysia. So in conclusion, the the best combination to maximize our utility is 2 ice cream, 6 isotonic drinks, and 4 cake. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karma Shambim Kamasri, and today I'm going to answer question 3 along with my friend Daniel Zulkifli. So, a consumer has an income of 24 ringgit to spend each day. The only two goods the consumer is interested in purchasing are goods A and B. The marginal utility schedules for these two goods are shown in the table below. The price of B does not change and is 2 ringgit. The marginal utility per dollar from B is also shown in the table. However, the price of A varies as shown in the table also. The marginal utility per dollar from A when the price of A is RM8 and foreign is shown in the following table. You can see on the slide. To answer question 3, this case is known as the utility maximizing rule. It is the combination of different goods and services that a consumer can attain with her or his budget. From there, they get to choose which combination, either goods A or B, will give the most satisfaction. To maximize the satisfaction, the consumer already allocated the income 24 ringgit so that the last RM spent on each good, either A or B, will give the same amount of extra utility. So we go to the step 1 first. So from the question given, we can and do some analyzing about the question. So we know that the total income is 24 ringgit, and price of goods B does not change. It stays RM 2 ringgit. However, for price A, it varies. So for the first part, we have 8 ringgit, and the second part, we have 4 ringgit. So the price varies. So moving on to the step 2, which is price of goods A of 8 ringgit and price of goods B of 2 ringgit. So we're going to start with the highest MU per marginality per ringgit first, with the highest, and then we know that our total income is 24 ringgit. So MU per RM, goods B is 12, however goods A is 6. So we can see that goods B has the highest marginal utility per RM. So purchase goods B. So we purchase goods B first at quantity 1. So we take the total income 24 ringgit minus with 2, we have the remaining income of 22 ringgit. So the remaining income 22 ringgit will be used to purchase of goods A at quantity 1 and B at quantity 2. So we take the remaining income, we minus with price of goods A and goods B. So the remaining income will be RM 12 ringgit. So since the remaining income is 12 ringgit, we can still purchase of goods A at quantity 2 and goods B at quantity 3. So we take the remaining income 12 minus with price of goods A minus with price of goods B, we have remaining income is 2 ringgit. So since the remaining income is 2 ringgit, we cannot longer purchase goods A because it already exceeds the income at any quantities. However, we can still buy goods B because goods B only cost at 2 ringgit. So at quantity 4, we can buy the goods B. So the remaining income of 2 ringgit, we minus with 2 the price of goods B, we have 0 ringgit. So in conclusion, price of A, the quantity will be 2 units, and for price B, the quantity will be 4 units.
Now this is the continuation of step 2. For price of goods A, change to RM 4 ringgit, but for goods B, it is still 2 ringgit. Now since the marginal utility per ringgit is the same, so we take both and purchase them at quantity 1. So the total income is still 24 ringgit. We take purchasing goods of A RM 4 ringgit and B at 2 ringgit at quantity 1 is the remaining income, which is 24 ringgit minus 4 ringgit for goods A and 2 ringgit for goods B, and we got RM 18 ringgit. Now the remaining income of 18 ringgit will be used to purchase of goods A again at RM 4 ringgit and B at RM 2 ringgit at quantity 2. Now we take the remaining income 80 ringgit minus 2 ringgit and minus 4 ringgit, we get RM 12 ringgit. Since the remaining income is RM 12, so we can still purchase both goods, which is goods A at 8 ringgit and goods B at RM 2 ringgit at quantity 3. So we take 12 ringgit minus 4 ringgit minus 2 ringgit, which is RM 6 ringgit. Now the remaining income is still can be purchased for goods A and goods B. So we take RM 6 ringgit minus 4 ringgit for goods A and minus 2 ringgit for goods B, and we got the remaining income of 0 ringgit. Now in conclusion, for price A, for price of goods A RM4, the quantity is level at 4, but for B, price of B is 4, quantity is 4 because it is still the same. The question asked for step 3 is to create the table. Complete the table below to show how much of A the consumer will buy each week at each of the 2 possible prices of A. Also show how much B will be demanded when the price of A change. For the price of A at 8 ringgit, the quantity of A demanded is capped at 2. For the price of B at 2 ringgit, the quantity of B demanded is at 4. Now, when the price of A change down to 4 ringgit, the quantity of A demanded is at 4. But for price of B, which is still total at the same 2 ringgit, the quantity of B demanded is still at 4 quantity.
Hi everyone, I'm Angelina and I'm going to talk about question 4. Smartphones have become increasingly capable, often replacing the need for multiple devices such as cameras, music players, and even tablets or laptops. Using marginal analysis, explain why consumers may choose to rely solely on smartphones rather than purchasing additional electronic devices. The law of marginal utility is when the consumption of goods or services increase, the marginal utility, the satisfaction one gets from consuming a good or service obtained from each additional unit of a good or service decreases. For example, since consumption of smartphone have increased due to its many functions, The marginal utility of digital cameras and PT players has decreased significantly. Reasons why consumers rely only on smartphones and refuse to buy multiple devices. They are money saving, convenient, and easy integration with other software applications. Uh, Instead of buying many devices, buying one device can be used for multiple features since it's more cost saving compared to buying multiple devices for each feature. Thus, smartphones have a higher overall utility per dollar. Next, convenient. It is more portable and convenient to carry one product than to carry multiple products. Easy integration with other software or applications. Smartphones nowadays have seamless integration with cloud services and social media. The marginal utility of purchasing a separate device that does not integrate as smoothly into the smartphone ecosystem is relatively low.
Forward with the tutorial questions. I'm Happy Zakim, who will be the one that explaining with question 5. Question 5 is, an individual is deciding whether to leave a stable job to start a small online business selling handmade products. Discuss how the concept of rational decision making and cost benefit analysis apply to this decision, considering both monetary and non-monetary factors. So now, the first is the rational decision making. A rational decision making can be made by calculating the opportunity cost between the stable job and the small businesses. A stable job can provide a consistent income and additional benefits such as health care and retirement funds. Meanwhile, a small business can provide a growing stream of income and more flexibility of time. Both of these premises have a very good benefits to the individual, and also there's a risk in both of them, such as when a stable job could lose in income. Meanwhile, a small businesses has a lot of risk and require a lot of capital funds. Next is the cost benefit analysis. A cost benefit analysis is used to systematically evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the premises. This analysis is used to assist in the decision making by ensuring a maximum utilities. The shift towards a small business requires a proper planning and expectations for effective results. More further explanation, I will be sharing about the factors of the monetary costs and the non-monetary costs, also the monetary benefits and non-monetary benefits. For monetary costs, the first is the loss of stable income. As you quitting your stable income, you will cut all the monthly income. Second is loss of benefits such as health care and retirement funds and the others that's the company provided to you. And also you will be suffering a high starting capital for your businesses, as you need to invest a lot of money to your business. Second, the non-monetary cost is the risk of failure. Starting a business does not have a very high percentage of successes, and there is always a risk of failure that we need to be aware of and to be prepared. Next is the stress. Handling your business will be for surely causing you a lot of stress to ensure that everything works fine. And second is the decrease of work-life balance. Since when we doing a stable job, we already have a fixed time that need to be done. That most of it from the 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening. However, when starting a business, for surely you do not have any specific time that you set, because we need to make sure that everything works fine, even in the early of the morning or is late of the night. Next is the monetary benefits. The monetary benefits is the potential profit. When you're in business, after calculating all the costs and the sale, with a proper pricing, you can expect a very decent profit from it, and from that profit you can expect to have an increase in business scale. Starting in the beginning of your journey, for sure it will be a small, but with a consistent effort and steady of income, your business scale will surely go up. Next is the non-monetary benefits. For non-monetary benefits, there will be a freedom in your decision making. Since you are the owner of of your own businesses, you can make a lot of your decision from what you believe in, such as if you what type of packaging you want, or how you expect for the services to be provided to your consumers and all of that. And doing all that, you'll be provided with a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in doing so. So what can I say with this discussion is, starting a small business can be plausible after quitting a stable job. However, you need to have a very smart preparation after evaluating the cost benefits and make a very rational decision. These two aspects must be utilized in order for us not to make impulsive decision that could risk us. It is preferable for also it is preferable for that individual to start their businesses as a part-time with a minimal capital during their work as a full-time employee in their stable job, and gradually decide it as a full-time, which also mean shifting to your attention to the business after a very consistent sales and income from your own business, and then at that point when we can see that there's a potential growth and stable stream of sales of revenue in business without risking too much, and that's the decision that much preferable in this current era. That's all from me. Thank you.
To answer this question, there are three terminologies that we need to know. First is marginal cost. Marginal cost refers to the additional cost, no matter if it's monetary or non-monetary, of working that extra hour, such as fuel expenses mentioned in the question, fatigue for the rider, or opportunity cost of leisure. The second would be marginal benefit. Marginal benefit refers to the additional income or incentives earned from working one or more hours. Similarly, marginal benefit can be in both monetary and non-monetary form. Third, we need to know what is gig economy. Gig economy is a labor market categorized by short-term, flexible, small, task-based, and freelance jobs, often facilitated through digital platforms or apps. So what this reflects is that in the gig economy, it is often unstable, so riders would want to utilize every single cost that they have used to get back the most return. As mentioned earlier, it is important for us to understand the psychological factor whereby the riders work to make the most money they can efficiently, so with the least cost but with the most return. When marginal cost increases, it is most likely that the MC would outweigh the marginal benefit MB. So, when MC is greater than MB, riders are less likely to work for long hours because the benefit or parts of the benefit that they have earned will be used to cover back the additional costs that they will need to borne. Adversely, when MB is greater than MC, riders are more likely to commit long working hours as they are using less cost to earn more money. There's a special situation where the MC equals out or balances out the MB. Other factors such as whether or not this company provide financial incentives, whether there is a good weather condition, for instance, if it is raining, the demand, the competition, as well as the riders' well-being become very important considerations for the riders to decide whether they have to commit long working hours. Let's look at this relevant news back in 2022 by Wired. These gig workers actually had a very interesting response to the sky-high gas prices due to the Russian-Ukraine war. So these gig workers, they are actually suffering from hiking of fuel prices matched with lesser work. What they did at first was that they keep on doing longer working hours to cover back the cost of the fuel. However, they realized that in the long run, this isn't the solution. So what they have did is that they have go on strikes and also protests for the government to actually regulate out the fuel prices. So this shows us that in the gig economy, the drivers or riders are actually very rational in doing their economic decision making, whereby they actually want, or at least want, their marginal benefit to be balanced out with their marginal cost instead of having to bond or bear the situation where the marginal cost is actually much higher than the marginal benefit. That is all from us. Thank you.